Hello viewers and welcome back to Danganronpa V3. And, oh, hold on. In an attempt to resurrect the dead, Angie is killed during a seance, is dead. During a seance to search for answers, Tenko is murdered. So how did they die? So let's try to figure out on today's episode of Danganronpa V3, Killing Harmony, and we're about to take on Chapter 3's class trial. So let's just get it over with and get it started, shall we? And yes, we shall begin. I think I know what's mostly going on, but I'm not like 100% sure, but
Now then, let's begin with the basic explanation of the class trial.
oh yeah.
During the trial, you'll
Yes,
present
we
your
know.
argument
Who done it?
correctly, and only the blackened
Yeah.
will be punished. I'll punish everyone besides. Also, refusing to vote will result in you. Now,
Okay.
smiles, everyone! It's showtime! Let's get this crazy awesome trial underway!
Alright.
Sorry, everyone. I don't think I'm gonna be much help this time. Because of Monokuma's disruptions, I couldn't do a thorough investigation.
I can tell Monokuma is overcompensating to hide his self-consciousness.
Next time, spend less time fixing your hair and more time investigating, spaceman!
Shut up! I don't need to hear some comedy act from you two weirdos.
Who did it? Who killed Angie and Tenko?
Do not let your emotions hasten your judgment. There may be two killers.
True.
So, our other culprit might not be one of us here.
Oh, shut up, man. I don't think a dead person
What do you
did
mean?
The transfer student.
it. Oh god. She's crazy again.
Maybe our resurrected transfer student dragged Angie and Tenko into the grave.
Stop it! Stop making stuff up!
Say something, Shuichi. It'll be a mess if this keeps going on.
Yeah. Is it even possible for a revived corpse to be a culprit? Well, in the interest of being thorough, I should clear things up here. I don't think a dead person did this.
This crime was committed by the recently deceased. They came back to life and killed 2 of our classmates.
No!
Oh god, don't worry, it's not a dead person.
Ritual.
Nope,
What's wrong?
you had to burn the book. If the book is still there, then someone didn't come back from the dead.
Angie's ritual succeeded.
Yeah, because I kinda already figured that part out.
According to the Necronomicon Monokuma showed us,
Well,
you have to burn the Necronomicon in the ritual.
yep. After preparing an effigy, burn the Necronomicon to ashes. Be cautious. Be mindful of carbon monoxide poisoning. Sprinkle the ashes on the effigy and repeat the name of the deceased 3 times.
If Angie's ritual had succeeded, the book would have been gone.
Yeah, but it wasn't.
So she must have been killed before the ritual was complete, since the book was still intact.
Yep.
Then, going to think Rantaro probably not culprit.
Okay.
Oh, I guess you're right.
Well, duh. There's no way a dead person could resurrect.
Now hold on a second! I can't let that comment stand! Sure, everybody knows that you can't bring the dead back to life. But it's easy at the Ultimate Academy, as long as you use the Necronomicon.
What are you talking about? There's no way that's possible.
But it's true! I never lie about motives.
Well, you're a pathological liar, so you can't be trusted.
Daddy said so he can't be wrong. Raising the dead is totally possible.
No, I don't think so.
Man, I can't believe you guys wasted such a perfectly good motive. You should have let me use it to bring Monodum back to life.
Monodum is still alive, though.
Let me guess, you're gonna kill him.
I'm just kidding. I wouldn't waste a resurrection on Monodum's corpse.
Aw, Monodam. And he doesn't talk. God damn it, now he's back to when he was in class at the first chapter. I was starting to like the guy. Come on, let him speak up.
Oh? So resurrecting the dead was actually possible this whole time?
There's no way it's possible!
Yeah, I'm agreeing with Kaido on this one
There's
because
no way
that's
that could happen,
ridiculous.
idiots. Monokuma is trying to confuse us.
Yep,
Let's hurry up and find out who the Blackened is.
yep.
If our transfer student isn't the culprit, then blame falls to one of us.
Yep.
Who did it?
Step aside, Half Pint. I'll handle this.
Oh,
I don't know about Tenko, but I'm pretty fucking sure Kyo murdered Angie.
What? Why?
Don't play dumb with me, Creepshow. I already know what happened.
what?
The culprit used a katana to kill Angie. And it was found in Kyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kyo, automatically suspicious.
But
True.
anyone could have taken that katana, you see.
Yeah, that's
So that
true.
rusty katana was the murder weapon.
No, I
You were
don't.
the only one who cared about that thing, Kyo.
I did not care about some katana.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm. You went to the classroom, broke in. And murdered the fuck out of Angie! Booyah! I'm a fucking genius! The culprit used a katana to kill Angie. And it was found in Kyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kyo, automatically suspicious.
But anyone could have taken that.
Weapon. You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kyo.
I did not care about some katana.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm. You went to the classroom, broke in, and murdered the fuck out. Booyah! I'm a genius!
No, don't think
It
so.
used a and it was found in Kyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kyo, automatically suspicious.
But anyone could have taken that katana, you see.
So that rusty katana was the murder weapon.
Yeah.
You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kyo.
I did not care about some katana.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm. You went to the classroom, broke in,
I was wrong!
the culprit used a katana to kill Angie. And it was found in Kyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kyo, automatically suspicious.
But anyone could have taken that katana, you see.
So that rusty katana was the murder weapon. You were the only one who cared about that thing, Kyo. I did not care about some katana.
Just admit it, you shit-eating worm. You went to the classroom, broke in,
No, so.
Damn it!
the culprit used a katana to kill Angie. And it was found in Kyo's research lab. Which makes you, Kyo, automatically suspicious.
But anyone could have taken that katana, you see.
So
Ah, here we go.
that rusty katana was the murder.
You were the only one who heard about that thing, Kyo. I did not care about some katana. Just admit it, you shitty worm!
You went to the classroom, broke in,
Oh, what?
and murdered the fuck out of Angie! The culprit used a katana to kill Angie.
And it was found in
T's research lab. Which makes you Kyo automatic.
But Ed taken that katana.
you see. So that rusty katana
Was the murder.
weapon.
You're the only one.
Who cared about that thing, Kyo?
I did not
Care about some
katana.
Just admit it, you
Shit-eating
worm! You went
to the classroom, broke in,
There we go. I was right. I think I just hit one of the white words instead, not the golden ones. Okay. I think it was probably
No,
because of
Kyo
that.
would not have been able to enter Angie's lab.
Yeah, remember, it was locked from the outside.
Isn't that right, Tsumugi?
Yeah. Before Angie locked herself up in her research lab, she said she wasn't going to open up for anyone but student council members.
And Kyo is not a member. She wouldn't have opened the door for him.
Kyo couldn't have killed Angie even if he wanted to.
I had no desire to kill her in the first place.
So whoever killed Angie must have been one of the student council members, yeah?
True.
I was doing a bit to lead you to the right answer. Can't believe you actually got it.
Oh, how clever.
You can just ignore her, Gonta.
The remaining student council members are Gonta, Kibo, Tsumugi, and Himiko.
Well, it can't be Himiko. She was besties with Angie. I trust their friendship. You guys do too, right?
Maybe.
Yeah, of course.
Can we trust their friendship so readily?
Obviously. Let's believe in them.
That trims our list of suspects down to 3. Gonta, Tsumugi, and Kibo.
Yep. The culprit is one of those 3 people.
You mean one of those 2 people? 'Cause a robot ain't people, Jack!
I will let that remark slide. Anyway, aren't these accusations just a tad too hasty?
What ifs? The culprit should confess already. Gonta, Keyboy, or Tsumugi? Well,
No, not Gonta. Gonta would never kill Angie.
Yeah, Gonta's a gentleman. You shouldn't suspect either of us.
Hey, stick up for me too.
Gonta definitely not hurt anyone. Torture Gonta if you don't believe.
Torture might be a bit too far, but Gonta and I aren't the culprits.
And I'm not the culprit either. Jeez.
Gonta
not the
not
culprit.
We're not the culprit.
Not again. Alright, so now we gotta sort this mess out.
We must consider
is a
other
gentleman.
possibilities. Surely there must be suspects outside the
Gentlemen,
student
not
council.
betray student council.
that's utterly impossible.
For last night?
A dead chick can't
Not
be
just
the
anyone
culprit!
can open that door.
Why?
Only student council members had
Late
access.
at night.
Look, I don't know who the culprit
I
is,
didn't know robots
Kyo
told
doubt
such boring
Gonta.
lies.
but it's definitely not me.
Is that a robophobic remark?
There are several suspicious statements, but one is obviously inconsistent.
We must consider other possibilities. Surely there must be suspects outside the
Gentlemen,
student
not
council.
betray student council.
That's utterly impossible.
For last night?
A dead chick can't be
Gota
the
in room
culprit.
talking to book friends.
Why? It's
Only
not
student
Much better
council
than being
members
out
had
too
access.
late at night.
Look, I don't know who the
Ask
culprit
both
I didn't
is,
know
friends of
robots
Kyo
told
doubt
such boring
Gota.
lies.
but it's definitely not me.
Is that a robophobic remark? You must consider other possibilities. Surely there must
Try student council!
Oh, I think I know.
That's utterly impossible.
Must be the
Anyone could open
culprit.
that door.
Why?
Only student council members.
Look, I don't know who the culprit is.
There are other possibilities. Surely there must be suspects outside the
Gentlemen,
student
not
council.
betray student council!
Impossible.
A dead chick
Not
can't
just
be the
anyone could open
culprit.
that door.
Why?
Only student council members had access.
Look, I don't know who the culprit
I
is.
didn't know robots told.
Aye.
Other possibilities.
Student council!
Why? It's
Only
not that
student
much better.
council members had access.
No,
I heard it.
you have access, Uma. You liar. You have lockpicking skills. So you could commit the murder too.
No, it wasn't just student council members that could have opened that lab door.
Oh god. Trying to think of getting through all that is a little hard.
What was it you said earlier about Kyo opening the door, Shuichi? Unless you're a student council member, you can't enter Angie's lab, right?
I was referring to Kyo. He couldn't have done it, but you could have. Because
Yeah.
I saw you open the classroom lock by picking it.
With your lockpicks. Oma pulled out some thin needles and stuck them into the keyhole of the lock. Click, click, click. Clank. There. Open sesame.
Oh, that happened? I totally forgot.
So you're going to pretend you don't remember, huh?
Quit glaring at me like that. Of course I remember. Yeah, I did it. I killed Angie.
Liar. He's lying.
Wait, what? What did you just say?
I picked the lock to her lab, snuck into the room, and then wham! Killed Angie. The culprit was me, all along.
What?
What are you saying? Is this some kind of joke?
Nah, no joke. I thought that if I confessed, I could atone for my sins. And it helped. I feel so much better. Whew!
No, he's lying.
Wait, so Kokichi really is culprit?
No, I don't think so.
No, he's lying. I think.
Maybe?
Yeah, I have to agree with Miyu here. He is a compulsive liar, so
He's
he
lying.
does lie.
I'm certain of it.
Yeah, he is bullshitting.
No, definitely not a lie. I killed Angie.
Where's your proof?
Shouldn't you guys believe the culprit when they confess?
No.
Then let me ask you, culprit. How did you lock the room?
Yeah.
Huh? Well, it's the same as opening it. You pick the door closed from the outside.
No, that doesn't make sense.
Huh? What doesn't make sense? Can't you lock a door by picking it?
No, I don't think so.
Maybe, but that's not how the culprit locked the room. They used a different method.
Ah.
What different method?
Yeah, Mumbles. Use your big boy voice and explain yourself.
There were 2 doors to the classroom, and the one locked last was...
last was the back door.
That's it! The back door. That's how they made this a locked room mystery.
The back door had a sliding lock, yes? How was it locked from the outside?
The culprit used a certain tool.
Tool that the culprit used to lock the sliding lock from the outside was most likely the scythe, right? Or the or no, it's not there. There you are. No, it wasn't the scythe? It was the sword. I thought it was the scythe. Never mind then. But how did the
gold leaf katana that was stabbed into Kaede's effigy. The culprit used that to hit the knob of the sliding lock to lock the door.
So the gold leaf was on the sliding lock because...
Because when the katana hit the lock, some of the gold leaf rubbed off on it. The gold leaf on that katana did peel rather easily.
That evidence rings a bell. Specifically, a school bell.
nostalgia?
Huh? Are you talking about a different school? What school was it?
Now, that doesn't matter anymore. Let's not dwell on the past.
Oh yeah, this happened the same way when the first game came. In the first murder.
The gold leaf landed on the sliding lock when the katana touched it. So that means the culprit used the katana to move the sliding lock, right? But wait, how did they move it with the katana? And from outside Angie's lab?
Yeah.
The clue that might give us the answer is the layout of the area itself.
What?
It was an odd setup after all. The katana stabbed into the effigy. The effigy's hung upside down.
Angie didn't do that as part of the ritual?
No, it didn't say.
No. Nowhere in the Necronomicon did it say you had to hang the effigies.
If it was not part of the ritual, then it must have been for a different purpose, right?
A different purpose. What could have been? The culprit somehow used the setup to lock the room. In the case, I need to know the reason behind every step of that setup. If I do that, the way to the culprit lock the room should be clear. Okay. What turned the handle of the sliding lock? What turned the handle? The katana's hilt, yeah. Okay, next question. What was turned to make the katana turn the lock? Probably the effigy, right? That's what I can think of. Yeah, I was right. Next question. Oh god, that's a big, long one. How was the effigy manipulated to make the katana affect the lock? Somebody turned it, right? That's what I can think of. Spinning it. Aha! Got it. So what turned the handle of the sliding lock? Katana's hilt? What was done to make the katana turn the lock? Katana was stabbed through into the effigy. How was the effigy manipulated to make the katana affect the lock? By spinning it. The murderer, used physics!
That's it. The reason the culprit stuck the katana into the effigy was so that it would hit the sliding lock as the effigy spun.
Effigy spun?
That's right. If you spun the effigy, the rope it was hanging from would twist.
Mm-hmm.
Then, if you let it go, the rope would unwind and the effigy would spin the other way. And of course, the katana would spin with it.
I see. So the culprit used the katana's counterspin to push the lock into place? The culprit simply needed to spin the effigy's rope, and then swiftly leave. This would cause the spinning katana to hit the sliding lock. And thus was the back door of an empty classroom locked from the inside.
Yes, that's how Angie's lab was locked. By using the effigy with the katana.
Pretty clever.
A plan born from the heart of a sword traveling through the air to intercept us.
What?
Oh, but could it have moved the slide lock so easily?
The sliding lock was pretty loose. A little push could move it. As long as the spinning katana hit the lock, it would have slid into position.
Even if the culprit failed the first couple times, they could keep trying until it locked.
which is why the culprit chose to strike at nighttime as to avoid detection.
Pretty much.
Yes, since the student council prohibited anyone from walking around at nighttime.
Are you saying it's the student council's fault?
Pretty much.
I didn't say that.
In any case, the culprit probably used the murder weapon for this trick. It had to have been the right length to hit the sliding lock from the effigy.
The culprit couldn't find a blade long enough in my lab, so they settled for the katana.
The other effigies were only hung up so we think it was some kind of ceremony.
Yep.
That way, we wouldn't notice the lock trick.
But Kokichi did say earlier that he could have picked the lock closed. I don't want to completely ignore that possibility. But I can't imagine the culprit would have done all this just for a distraction.
If that's the case, then Kokichi's confession earlier was actually...
A lie.
Seriously? You fucking lied again?
Well, at least we know how the doors were locked.
Cough it up, Kokichi!
Oh, man. You guys got me. Okay, I'm not the culprit.
You're telling the truth this time, right?
I want to
Yep.
say I'm lying, but I'm not.
Why did you say you were the culprit?
I wanted to lure the culprit out. If I claimed to be the culprit, then the real culprit would agree as well. You get me? And if they pressured me to confess, then that would have looked mighty suspicious. Sheesh. Darn it. It didn't go my way because Shuichi butted in on my plan.
You and your fucking lies! Go sit in the corner and play with yourself!
Dude, that's a bit not sane.
Okay, I'll start right now.
No! Don't!
Alright, so who's the asshole who set up this locked room mystery?
No, please don't phrase it that way. It's just gonna
You.
sound... No.
I can't hold it up anymore.
No!
What's the matter? You going soft on me now?
No, just
Who made
don't.
the locked room mystery doesn't matter since anyone could have done it.
Pretty much.
Don't you even understand something as basic as that, you filthy cum dumpster?
Oh, God, really? You just had to say that word?
Come, dumpster!
Don't Google. For the love of God, don't Google what it means. Trust me.
Finally! Someone finally called me a cum dumpster!
Phrasing!
What should we talk about now?
Not about what that word is. I don't want to go in there, and people, don't Google it. I swear to God, don't Google it. Trust me.
We must focus not on the locked room, but on who entered Angie's lab.
Yeah, let's just get back to this.
Only one of the student council members or Kokichi could have gained entry.
Yeah, that's true.
Therefore, the culprit must be among their number.
Yeah.
That leaves us with 4 suspects. Tsumugi, Gonta, Kibo, and Kokichi.
Don't forget Himiko. She's also a part of the student council.
True.
Doesn't matter if she was besties with Angie, she's still a suspect.
That contradicts what you said earlier, which I can prove using my recording function.
It's fine. That's just a waste of time.
Me? A suspect? I'd never kill Angie!
So, calling all suspects, what should we discuss next? I want to hear everyone's opinion. What would you say to get yourself off the suspect list?
Why are you trying to lead the debate? You're a suspect too.
Silence, outsider. Only the suspect rangers are allowed to speak.
Oh, God. Shut up.
Suspect rangers?
Is he making a reference? I know there was something involved there, but I don't think... I know what he's trying to make fun at, but I'm not sure if he was really going there.
I agree.
Those under suspicion should explain themselves thoroughly.
Sorry about that.
We might catch them with their pants down.
Oh, Jesus, stop with the phrasing.
Anyway, I want to ask the suspect rangers.
Including yourself.
What should we talk about? What should we say to get ourselves off the suspect list? Well, guys, I want to hear what you think.
That's sort of a difficult question, you know?
Gonta not smart enough to know answer to that.
Yes, it is difficult to formulate a logical response to that question.
Not articulate with words, huh? Don't you guys want to prove your innocence?
They don't trust you one bit, and I don't blame them. You're probably plotting.
Why did Tenko have to die?
Huh?
I want to know what happened to Angie too, but... Can we talk about Tenko's case now and not just Angie?
I got you exactly where I wanted, Himiko.
What do you mean?
The two victims could have been killed by two separate murderers, you know. So we need to find the first Blackened responsible for the first victim. We gotta figure out who killed Angie. Until we solve Angie's case, Tenko's case is meaningless. Did you suggest that to waste our time?
It's not meaningless!
Damn. Himiko.
Tenko's death was meaningless? How dare you! Poor Tenko! How could you do this to her? Himiko...
Himiko, stop it with your crappy lies.
Lies?
Everything you said is total BS. You didn't give two shits about Tenko when she was alive. But now you're like, oh no, poor Tenko, after she's dead. Come on, really?
Kokichi, enough!
No. It's okay. It's no surprise he'd think that. I know I ignored Tenko before. That's why I'm so upset now. I should have faced Tenko. Worked things out with her while she was still alive. But now, it's too late. I can't complain to her or thank her. It's too late.
Yeah, seriously. It's way too late to realize that now. Our only option is to face her death head on.
Yeah. Face her death?
Himiko, I understand what you're going through. So I'm gonna help you out. Let's work together to find the truth. I'm not gonna let anyone say her death didn't matter.
Kaito. Alright. I'll put a silencing curse on whoever calls Tenko's death meaningless. The name of the curse is... Death Curse! I suppose being dead would silence someone pretty good.
Yeah.
Listen up! All you guys are gonna help out too. Abandoning someone who died and only thinking about your own survival. That's just as bad as a hit and run! I won't forgive something so messed up!
Tenko was our friend. Gonta wanna know why she died too.
I already told you that's so unnecessary. We're getting sidetracked here.
No, even if it was a different culprit, we need to know how Tenko died. If we don't find out who killed her, we won't be able to work together. Not now, not ever. Even if this trial isn't for her, in order for us to survive, we need to get to the bottom of Tenko's death. Not just to survive this trial, but so we can keep going and live on!
Kaito.
Finally, you noticed. Jeez, you're so slow.
Huh? Did Kokichi want us to notice?
Don't listen to his crap. We haven't decided whether there were two different culprits yet.
Let us talk about Tenko's case then. Perhaps that will provide us a clue.
Yeah, maybe.
They're not wrong, but I don't mind going over Tenko's case. But that was an abrupt change of topic. Was that intentional?
So, what do we talk about first?
For now, let's see if we can narrow down the list of suspects.
Tancrotch probably got killed during the seance, so everyone there's suspicious.
Tancrotch!
The people who attended the seance. People who attended was...
That's it!
Yeah, the first one. Yeah.
It was me, Kyo, Himiko, and Kokichi.
Yep.
So those 4 are the culprits!
No, I don't think that's possible.
Himiko still culprit?
Well, that's probably just a coinkydink. The most suspicious out of the 4 is really... Kyo. He suggested the whole seance idea.
Yeah, I kind of agree
True,
with that.
I may have suggested it, but I explained the procedure beforehand, yes? If we all knew of it before the murder, then we are all equally suspicious.
Yeah.
Well, I suppose, but...
In addition, the seance wasn't entirely in my control either. I was not the one who selected the room we performed it in. It was Himiko.
Yeah, that's true. However, there are 3 empty rooms. Which one shall we use? And the middle room. The middle room's always the best for stuff like this. Very well. I shall begin the preparations at once.
Oh, right.
Also, we should not limit our suspects to only those who participated in the seance. The empty room had a point of entry from outside, you see.
A point of entry from outside, he must be referring to the door, right?
Damn it! There!
You're gonna bring up the corner.
You're talking about under the floor, right?
Yeah, that's what I just... Oh, for God's sake.
Huh? Under the floor?
Yep.
Yes, there's a crawl space under the floor a person can move through. There was also a hole that connected it to the neighboring room.
Yep.
If the culprit used the hole, they could have entered and exited the seance room.
If we consider that possibility, then there is another suspect.
Another suspect? Who?
It's appearing before me. Oh, I can see it clearly. The true identity of Tenko's killer.
Oh boy.
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance.
Yeah.
How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
Light? You mean candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight function.
Huh? Now, hold on a second.
Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor and sneak into the empty room during the seance!
I said hold on a second.
He used his robot functions to commit the murders.
Hold on a second!
Sure, with a little light you can move under the floor. But is that possible?
The culprit sneaked in during the seance
Someone would have
by
noticed.
crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. How could they even see if they were under the floor?
Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light.
True.
Light? You mean candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight function.
Now, hold on a second.
Use that function to get
Oh.
I was wrong!
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
But it was pitch black during the seance. Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see,
The villain had a light.
You mean candle?
I mean, Kibo's flashlight.
use that function to get under the floor.
Oh no!
The
I
culprit
don't think
sneaked
he
in
did
during the
it.
seance by crawling
under the floor. Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light. Light? You mean candle? I mean, Kibo's flashlight function. Now hold on a second. Kibo could
Use that function to get under the floor and sneak into the empty room.
I said hold on a second. He used his robot functions to commit the murders. Hold on a second. The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor. Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light. Light? You mean candle? I mean, Kibo's flashlight function. Huh? Now hold on a second. Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor.
The culprit sneaked in during the seance
by crawling under the floor. Because it wasn't dark under the floor. You see, our villain had a light. Light? You mean candle? I mean, Kibo's flashlight function. Huh? Now hold on a second. Kibo could have used that function to get under the floor.
I was wrong!
The culprit sneaked in during the seance by crawling under the floor.
Even see it under the floor.
Because it wasn't dark. You see, our villain had a light.
Aha!
That's wrong!
So I was off wrong. You would have totally seen it.
I don't think the culprit could have used a light while under the floor.
Yeah, because he would have easily been spotted.
There was a hole in the corner of the room. If a light were used, it would have leaked through and we would have seen it.
Yeah.
But when we did the seance, the room was definitely pitch black.
So a light was not shined under the floor, which means you cannot claim I am the culprit.
Jeez, here I thought this would be the case where the murder could only be done by a robot.
You have accused me of being the culprit more than once now, simply because I am a robot. My status as a robot does not mean I am capable of performing superhuman feats. My vision is somewhat poor, and I only possess average physical strength and intelligence.
All right, you made your point. God, now I feel sort of bad for you.
I neither want nor need your pity.
Duh.
Enough with the flashlight! It's way too bright!
It would have been difficult to move around under the floor in that pitch black darkness.
Yep.
Maybe the floor and the hole have nothing to do with this case.
Then why was floorboard under Tenko lined up funny?
Yeah.
Going to think that was so culprit could stab Tenko from under floor.
Yeah, that's pretty much what I'm thinking.
Ooh, nice observation, Gonta. Are you finally getting used to the class trials?
Uh-huh. Thank you.
Don't say it like that. You're better off not being used to this kind of stuff.
Maybe they marked Tenko with glowing paint and looked for that.
Okay, no, I don't think so, but yeah, that does remind me about the second game. That is weird.
That'd let the culprit find her. Then they could stab her through the floorboards.
Boy, that sounds really familiar too. But I'm just gonna ignore it.
Yeah, this happened to the second game in the first murder. Why are they bringing that up?
Her corpse didn't have any trace of glowing paint, though.
No, just blood.
Oh, yeah. So then why was that floorboard loose?
Yeah.
The loose floorboard was the one under Tenko, right?
Yeah.
If the culprit used it while she was still alive, she'd totally notice.
Who fucking cares? Fussing over that won't get us closer to the culprit!
We shouldn't dismiss this line of inquiry, however. Instead of butting our heads against this, how about we concentrate on another issue?
What other issue?
Perhaps first, we should figure out how and when exactly Tenko was killed.
When that thud occurred, right?
When? So not during seance?
Yes, during.
Tenko was in the metal cage for the whole seance, wasn't she?
Yeah.
How could someone have gotten to her there?
Maybe the culprit killed her before she went under the metal cage.
No, we saw it.
That's not possible. She was alive at that point.
This is the point of no return. Tenko, after this point you mustn't speak. The next time you open your mouth, it will be Angie speaking through you. I understand. Al won't say a word until the seance is over. Yeah, that is
Yes. She was unmistakably alive when the seance began.
That was right before we blew out the candles. But when the light came back...
She was dead.
The floorboard was removed at that point, so it's likely she was already dead then.
So she was killed when the room was dark?
But she was inside Cage, right? Going to think it impossible to kill her then.
Then she wasn't killed when the room was dark. It was a
A different time?
How the fuck should I know? You figure it out, shitheads!
Huh?
Since Gonta said it was impossible, I'm proposing an alternate theory. Now hurry up and think! If you want to make my golden brain tingle, start circle jerking your limp dick brains!
Oh, shut up. Okay, back to this. Okay, so...
When Tenko got killed, it wasn't during the seance.
It could not have been done at any other time. She was under the cage the whole time. And she was dead when the cage was lifted.
What about moment Cage was lifted?
No.
Like that.
When Cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tenko real fast. So fast, no one saw.
Oh my!
So who lifted the cage?
It was me.
Then obviously Himiko is the culprit!
No, it isn't.
There's no doubt!
Tenko not being killed during the seance? That might be impossible, but there's no evidence of
When
it.
Tenko got killed, it wasn't during the seance.
It
could not have been done at any other time.
She was under the cage the whole time.
Yep.
And she was dead when the cage was lifted.
Yeah.
What about moment Cage was lifted?
When Cage lifted, culprit stabbed Tenko real fast. So fast, no one saw. So who lifted the cage?
Then
Obviously, Himiko was the culprit. When Tenko got killed, it
She was under the cage the whole time.
Yeah,
And
that's
she was
true.
dead when the cage was lifted.
What about moment Cage was lifted?
There we go.
That's wrong!
Nope. The white sheet proves it. There was still blood on it.
No, it wasn't possible to kill her the moment the cage was lifted. Because the inside of the white cloth had Tenko's blood on it.
Yep.
That cloth was removed before the cage was lifted.
Yep.
If Tenko was stabbed then, there wouldn't be blood on the cloth.
What? But how could my golden brain be wrong when it felt so right?
The only possibility is that Tenko was killed during the seance.
I got your remodel
Oh,
right
god
here!
dang it. What now? What's your problem?
No, it's still wrong to think that Tenko was killed during the seance.
What?
I'm gonna prove it right now. My golden brain is gonna go all out!
Alright, so... Buffalo Showdown.
Tenko died after the seance.
No.
It happened when the sheet was lifted. That was the moment the culprit chose to stab the fuck out of Tenko through the cage! They stuck the thin blade through the gaps of the cage, and that clean white sheet got stained blood red!
You mean
But
pink?
the weapon was a sickle. Only the blade could have fit through the gaps.
The blade's all you need. If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko. Sitting in there with her neck all exposed.
Damn it!
Okay,
The blade's all you need. If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko. Sitting in there with her neck all exposed.
But it was...
I was wrong!
What am I missing?
The blade's all you need. If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko. Sitting in there with her neck all exposed.
Can't
The
be
blade's all
wrong,
you need. If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko. Sitting in there with her neck all exposed. She wasn't that far from the cage's gaps. In which case, the person who lifted the sheet is the culprit. And that's none other than Kyo! The blade's all you need. If you stick the blade through a gap in the cage, it'd be long enough to reach Tenko. Sitting in there with her neck all exposed.
I can't believe a fucking rock!
Through your words.
God, let the rock logic... A little rock was the answer.
Wait just a minute. Tenko wasn't sitting down inside the cage.
Oh.
She was bent over with her forehead against the marker stone. And the cage itself was about 3 feet tall. The sickle's blade was too short to reach Tenko while she was in that position.
Then I messed up again? How could this happen? I am so embarrassed.
No worries, Mew. Everyone already knows you're an embarrassment to the human race.
Yeah, no worries.
Ah! How embarrassing!
If Shuichi is right, then it's impossible for Tenko to have been killed through the cage.
She couldn't have been killed during the seance since she was in the cage, right?
If she was killed then, the cloth over the cage would have been pierced.
Yeah,
Not
so
during the seance or from below the floor. Then it's impossible, isn't it?
Yeah, for a living person.
oh god, what now?
Huh?
What if Angie's spirit killed Tenko?
What are you talking about? That's not possible!
We don't know that. Some things are impossible for a human, but not for a spirit.
Don't say stupid stuff like that! Screw spirits!
Stop that now.
Angie's spirit killed Tenko? Why?
Himiko?
Why would Angie's spirit kill Tenko?
What if Tenko killed Angie, and then Angie's spirit came back for
Like I said, that's impossible! Spirits can't be culprits!
Then explain how the culprit killed Tenko under these impossible circumstances.
Well,
See? You can't explain, can you? Only a spirit could have done that!
wait! I know! What if the culprit was hiding inside the cage? If they were in there, they could have stabbed Tenko during the seance!
No, if there was someone else in the cage, we would have noticed.
I agree with Kaito. The culprit could have been inside the cage.
You do?
Nonsense. There was no space in the cage for the culprit to hide.
Maybe the culprit wouldn't need to hide in the first place.
What?
Also, the culprit could have killed her in the cage at any time. I think you know what I'm getting at, right?
The they she was referring to. What? Inside the cage. You mean Tenko committing suicide?
I believe Maki is referring to Tenko herself.
Am I right?
What did you say?
So she committed suicide.
Are you saying Tenko is the culprit?
She committed suicide.
Suicide?
If she committed suicide, it would explain a lot of things we couldn't figure out.
Oh god.
She volunteered to be in the cage, and then stabbed herself during the seance. It wouldn't matter how dark the room was.
But the sickle she was stabbed with was under the floor, right? If Tenko had stabbed herself, wouldn't the sickle still be inside the cage?
No.
Oh my god. Mew actually said something smart.
Perhaps that explains why the floorboard was removed. After stabbing herself with the sickle, she threw it underneath the floor.
So she took off the floorboard to get rid of the sickle?
Yes, that makes sense to Gonta.
Well, it doesn't make sense to me. There's no reason for Tenko to commit suicide.
Maybe I wasn't too far off with the theory I had earlier. You know, about Tenko killing Angie.
Yeah?
Because Tenko and Angie were fighting for your attention, right?
Yeah, that's true. Hey Angie, when did you brainwash Himiko?
Tenko's pent-up frustration led her to commit such an atrocity. Her conscience couldn't handle it anymore. So she decided to end her own life.
What?
But if she was gonna kill herself, why do it during the seance?
She wanted to hide the truth of her suicide.
Really? What?
There could only be one reason to hide it in a killing game, right? It's to take us down with her.
Take us down?
She wanted us to pick the wrong answer during the class trial, so she could bring us all down. She wanted us to die with her. Okay, well, she probably just wanted Himiko to die with her, but still.
What are you saying? Tenko wasn't like that. She told me.
Keep your chin up and live life facing forward. Survive with me and everyone else. Yeah. Her committing suicide?
What if all of
That's
that
a
was just
big
a lie?
mouthful. Maybe.
A lie?
Wait, we should believe Tenko's last words.
The true terror of class trials is that you shouldn't believe everything said.
Himiko, you said that Tenko would never do anything like that. But how can you be so sure? Did you guys actually know each other? People keep all sorts of secrets. Like Maki. She hid the fact that she's a cold-blooded killer. Is it wise of us to trust other people wholeheartedly in this kind of situation?
True.
Jeez, you're such a naive dude.
Naive?
We're all just people, you know? Of course we're gonna have some secrets.
Can't
What
be
matters
helped.
is whether there's any malice behind them.
People can lie about how malicious their hidden secrets really are.
Well, duh. It's impossible to know for sure what others are thinking. That's why it all comes down to whether or not you believe in yourself. If you get betrayed, it's not their fault. It's your fault for believing in them. That's why I believed in Maki Roll, because I wanted to believe in her.
Just because you're acting all cool doesn't mean you get to skip training.
Heh.
Hey, come on. Don't you think you're being a little too strict?
Well, we come from different backgrounds. So for now, let's agree to disagree. No one's ever called me naive before. And from Kaito? Seriously?
Whether or not I believe, my heart can't reach Tenko anymore. But I want to believe in her. She wouldn't commit suicide. She wouldn't try to take us down. That's what I want to believe.
Me too. Gonta no can believe Tenko commits suicide.
But if Tenko did commit suicide, that would answer all of our questions.
If you insist we believe in Tenko, then provide a reason to do so.
A proper reason.
All right, I'll give you a reason.
Is there a reason?
Yes, there is. Will you trust me, Mach? If it turns out I'm wrong, you can blame me all you like. But for now, I need you to trust in my detective work.
I don't believe Tenko would kill herself because of what she said. Okay, everyone, I'll see you guys after the seance. But how did she die if it wasn't a suicide? She said see you guys after. I doubt she had a sudden change of heart. Just because we won't know how she was killed doesn't mean that it was suicide. We shouldn't be satisfied with that, and we have to keep thinking we'll find the truth. And that means we have to believe in Tenko. I'll make them all believe. Oh god, this again. How do we prove that it's not?
So far, suicide seems to be the best explanation.
Her plan was to take us down with her. So she hid her true intentions.
Tenko's not that kind of person! But if Tenko did commit suicide, it would explain how she died during the seance.
She could have secretly brought the sickle. And then stabbed herself with it!
Finally, with the last of her strength, she threw the sickle underneath the floor. All the pieces fit.
Okay, I'm just gonna... I think I've been going on for quite a while, so... Yeah, I'm just going to say... I'm gonna leave it here, and next time we'll continue. So until then, have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you next time. So until then, I hope you guys have a fantastic day. And see you next time.